Rahim here, Messenger Covenant, breaking 7 seals. Future news, brothers and sisters. Just in passing here, I've been telling you about how universe expands, contracts, and how in this contraction phase, we become more energized. Things work better and better and better. That's pretty much what it's saying. So you can read it at your own leisure, right? But that's pretty much what it's trying to tell you here. See, and since if you understand the engine, how the universe works, the time they're talking about is in the contraction. In the contraction, this happens. That means things get better and better. It's called hereafter heaven. And it says a judgment. Don't mention one judgment. That's the judgment between going from the expansion phase to the contraction phase. See? That's why I'm speaking one judgment. The last day, right? The last day, right, of energy deprivation. See? The last day of expansion. Now the contraction begins. That's why I'm moving on, brothers and sisters. I don't want to get sidetracked here. And this, this is a terrible day for some people. It came them a book from Allah verifying that which they have. Verifying Mr. Black Man. Verifying, how you do that? Verifying, right? I'll say he has arrived. Verifying the lessons. Verifying Elijah. See? Rather they have it. All the time, they used to, hey man, those people that don't believe in Elijah, man, you ought to punish them. See? Because they would say, hey, how come you don't believe in Elijah? It's right there in the Bible. It's right there, Malachi. He'd be the one to come. I know because I was there. I was there when Elijah was there. And that's what, and all the ministers just say, see, right there, Malachi, right there. And that's what beat people, preachers over the head and everything else. He's right there. The next sentence within that verse, it says the messenger of the covenant would succeed him. And he was only preparing the way for that. They don't read that part. See? They ignore that part. But they would beat you on the first part. See? They got an evil future, if you want to call that future ahead of them. They're going to wish they had no future at all. And the forecast pray a victory over those disbelieve. I mean, see, we hope we're going to take care of them because they don't want to start listening to the messenger, right? But when they came to them, that which they recognize it. They disbelieve. So in other words, you're doing the same thing you accuse them of doing. And you even worse because you recognize it. You was trying to convince them, but you actually recognize it. Because it's right there. And in fact, we know you don't recognize it because you don't speak to it. See, you always got to read the backstory. See, it's like if they was ignorant of the message of the covenant, then they would probably read it and just misunderstand it. But the fact that they don't read it at all knows that they are conscious that they're lying. Always check the backstory. It means they're constantly lying. Like they don't read about we going back home. Because they know they're lying. Otherwise, they would read it and maybe have a bad understanding of it. If it was unintentional. They're just ignorant. But the fact that they don't know they're lying. They know it. They're conscious of it. Like I say, consciousness of guilt. See, they recognize. So a lot of curse on disbelievers. And we know the curse on Farrakhan. Look at all his top people were just getting dropped like flies. We don't see that way on it. Ava and that captain, and now his demon son's wife, and so on and so on. And his son not too long ago, and not to mention, he's a eunuch. So evil that was they sell evil so they should neither realize revealed. See, because Elijah Muhammad said a book was coming, and it's right there, the angel, that someone had to come and break those seals. They know they haven't done it. Elijah Muhammad never claimed to have done it. Master Muhammad never claimed to have done it. Said, no, somebody has to come and do it. No, some guys did it. right? And they denied that which lies revealed, and out of envy. So, man, should have been me. Listen to me. I'm the one. Right? Out of envy that lost his son out of grace, whomsoever says please. So why God give it to me? I should be the one. See? Not to mention ripping you off all the money they can get. So they incur wrath on the wrath. There's a basis time for disbelievers. Remind me, when I told you I went over to Farrakhan's place for, I think about a year. You have to go and see it for yourself, brothers and sisters. He had this one guy, he called, so he supposed to be the minister of one of the study groups, James Muhammad, I guess is, I don't know what everybody's Muhammad over there, right? They were praiseworthy anyway. And so, I go out and sell those final calls. And he had a big old, beer can, empty beer can, those tall ones, something like, what does it look like a beer can? Paper, plastered around it, right? All right. Economic program. And people fill it up. And sometimes I couldn't tell, but I knew it. Sometimes it $34 in there for going out for a day's work. And none of that money was going back to Nation of Islam. It was put in his pocket. He's probably a minister. All creeps and liars and thieves and robbers over there. And if it was going to the economic program, where's the economic program at? They keep talking about for 42 years. I don't see an economic program, except for Farrakhan. He's got a nice economic program. He's very wealthy. Okay, I'm going to talk about discipline, brothers and sisters. Discipline. Right? So we understand discipline. God deceive the whole world. Right? Discipline. Okay, see this, brothers and sisters. You see those lines in the center of that? See, that's your body, right? So those lines are discipline. And see all the stuff that you attracted, all the stuff that's pulling, that you're exposed to. See, but you resist it, so you hold it, right? See, so you maintain discipline. Now, what is discipline? See, there's two things that we was talking about. We're talking about your mind, right? That's that software on your brain, right? So it's really your brain, this mind, your software. So you can have bad software, you have good software. We have bad software, we have Christianity, all that kind of stuff, right? But your brain, right? And your body. And so the thing is that your mind, we're working on your mind and working on your discipline. Discipline is the 5 pillars of Islam. But see, like your brain, right? The angels for your brain. Because it's like a mental workout gym for the brain. And you gotta get it, you gotta study there. So you start getting it, then we know that you're ready. See? Because you gotta keep on till you get it. That's part of what tribulation is all about. You understand? So the angel is for that. But for your discipline your body, including your thoughts and everything too, because that discipline encompasses your entire being, right? That's 5 pillars. Say it like the discipline gym, because you had that during the Holocaust. See, you had your brain during the Holocaust, but you weren't using it. See, they'll load some mind on there. You had your natural discipline, right? I think there's something in the air, because I'm just sneezing and carrying on the last few days. I know that every September I used to get like I used to have a cold allergy. Then stop. Look like it. Excuse me. I'm gonna try to make this clear as possible, brothers and sisters. Discipline is self-control, basically. Maintain control of yourself. Okay? And so everybody's born like everybody born, you're born with muscles, but you can develop them. And during the Holocaust, you was able to develop your natural discipline because it took discipline to submit to that, to submit to all that pain and not retaliate. That's what made you, gave you the discipline of God's. Okay? And because the way they was denying us everything, we produced the best seed possible. So you got the best brain possible, and you got the best natural discipline possible that the universe can produce. Because remember, the universe contracted, it expanded, and was at maximum tension, right? So in other words, if the weight of the gym, the maximum weight they got is 1,000 pounds, that's more you could do. So you can lift that. We don't have any pounds more than that. So when the universe at maximum contraction, maximum expansion, your maximum tension, right? Then your brain has survived that, means intact. It means you got the most powerful brain possible and the greatest discipline possible. Natural. So we produce the best. But now you got to take and develop it. Like man, he born more muscle than a woman, but he's got to develop them. Okay, so let's understand that. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible, right? Okay, like the devils, right? Okay, we have a more complex body, so it takes more discipline to keep it, control it, because it's a much more complex body. See? There's more discipline and control. And we got very complex brains, so right, we need we need to deal with very complex things, right, to develop our brain. Because just add subtraction ain't going to do. That's elementary. Our brain goes way farther than that. But we got to develop it. The devils, they can't. They're limited. Right? They're limited because they have weaker structure, weaker brains. So it don't take much to develop what they have because they don't have much. See? And for self-control, it takes a little self-control, right? It don't take that much energy for their minds, because their minds is not, not that complicated. Hope you understand, bro, so far. Okay. But see, the thing about, remember, discipline is that's a natural aspect of you, just like your brain. You got to develop it. When you're a baby, you don't have any self-control. You can't control your body, you can't control your waist, you can't control anything. As you grow, you start applying discipline. And then you get yourself under control. You don't know anything, but you got to start studying. So you start getting knowledge of where the world and how the world works, thinking, So these things you got the raw material, right? So in this simple case right here, right? Now, when you come to the world has, like I said, a gravitational, I call it gravitational vortex, gravitational pull on you. The Bible calls it temptation. It has a natural pull on you. And it depends on how much discipline you have, how much great effect that's going to be. So, say for instance, in America, the American dream, that's all the things that meant to put food in there. I forgot that one, right? But look at all those things, that's American dream. See? And those are things that's pulling you. And then you got things that you don't understand, maybe understand later. Is someone underscoring that situation, because if you knew you had an alternative, that would strengthen your ability to discipline, because you say, hey, I'm going to hold myself together. It's like, say if take, I don't want, females don't get mad at me, right? So you're a female, and she's saying, well, I'm going to save myself for the main man. See? But if you don't know that's going to happen, then oh man, I don't know if I'm going to find anybody, man. I better go ahead and do my thing. So then you just doing all your thing, doing everybody. But if you know there's going to be a special person coming along, if you pay, somebody could convince you, yeah, man, just be patient. Save myself for that person. So that gives you the strength, since you have the faith or whatever that you're going to meet that special person one day, to do that. But if you don't have that, you say, well, all you know is what everybody's doing and everybody hanging out. You hanging out like everybody else because you don't know there's an alternative. Same thing here, because that's why Farrakhan said to get you focused on what's around you rather than another vision where you have an alternative. You have a whole different set of attractions. And so once he does that, then you say, okay, well, I'm here. Might as well, this is my life here. So you're going to try to make the best of it, because I was doing the same thing. When Elijah departed, right? See? I knew he was going to depart. I just didn't, like I said, knowing something, experiencing some different things. I knew by scripture he was going to depart. But I never thought about what I was going to do if that happens and when it was going to happen. And I never took it that far. And when it happened, I was surprised. And I said, okay, what I'm going to do, because everything fell apart and everything else. I mean, I didn't have to endure that time. So yeah, before Elijah left, I would think that he would put somebody in charge. He never would continue as he would, but he didn't. So that's one thing that really bugged me. I said, well, why would he do something like that? Why would he find somebody? Because they say we just died, he didn't have no choice. But the point is that that's not true, because we had night vigils where the FY would come to the temple every night while he was in the hospital. He would send us messages, right? So he knew he was sick. Now, whether he knew he would be taken away, and that's a different story. But at that point, he could have named someone. So, okay, this is the person I want to sit in my seat. And it wasn't Farrakhan. I don't know where they get that nonsense from. It wasn't Farrakhan, because Farrakhan admits himself. Elijah Muhammad said he would be his worst hypocrite. And so that's kind of why, part of the reason why they say Moses wouldn't be allowed to go to the promised land, because that was stuff like that. At any rate, see? So Farrakhan come, you tell you don't have no alternative. You ain't going home anywhere, so okay, then you want to make the best of it, right? So those things are more attractive to you, because that's all there is. That's all it is. So I might as well get the best of that. That's all there is. But if you know there's an alternative, man, I ain't going to mess with this, because I want that. I'm going to sacrifice myself with this, because I want that. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't know, then you go in on this. So let's look at this. So this person, right? He's maintaining discipline. He's not being tracked by this stuff, right? Oh, look at that. And bam, oh. And see, he's losing discipline now. See, yeah. He went after those things. So he lost discipline. And the more he go after it, the greater discipline he loses. So he loses control of himself to get those things. And that's the dilemma that we're in. Because in our state right now, right, we use almost all the energy. That's what we've been doing for the last 5 years anyway. Well, even in general. We've been using, as I said, that's why we went into deprivation to begin with. Because to maintain ourselves is just a buzzword for discipline. See? Right? We had used all the energy we had for discipline, so we had no energy for anything else. To maintain ourselves discipline, no energy for anything else. So the devils didn't take much energy to, right? For them to have discipline, because they had a simple body, simple structure. But it took all the energy to do that. So when you understand that, right? Because remember, discipline times energy is power. We had discipline, we had no energy. Because the energy we did have, we'd use it to self-control or to maintain a discipline over ourselves. See, that discipline was used to maintain ourselves. Right? So we kept ourselves maintained. Right? But we had no power over anything outside. We had power over ourselves because that was self-control. We had power over ourselves. Because remember, energy, we had energy enough to maintain ourselves, energy inside. And we got discipline, so we had discipline. We had power over ourselves. I mean, the power of discipline over ourselves, the power of ourselves, right? I'm talking about self-control. I'm talking about that. Self-control. Because devils had control over us, but self-control. Because we had to have a great deal of self-control to make it through the hard course. So the discipline was inside. We used all the energy we had to maintain our self-control. So that's why we were able to survive it. Remember they tried to put the so-called Native Americans in the bondage and then didn't work. Couldn't do it. We endured it. We submitted. You understand? So the devil understands this to some extent, especially after some amount of 30 years because they're paying attention. Now, we have internal power, that's self-control. That's why even in sports, right? I'm talking about even the demons, they have more control of their daddies. So that's why sports is mostly about what? Self-control, self-performance. And blacks, whether they demon or not, they almost every time I form the devils. That's self-control, internal discipline. Okay. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. So if they can get you to use your, because remember, we need all the energy to maintain self-control. But if they get you to go after the American dream, you're going to lose control because now you're going after these things, you're trying these things. So you see, you're losing control, discipline. You see, because the arrows remember this place, so now they're in the center, You're losing, and the more you go after these things, the further they get out, the less discipline you have. That means less discipline you have. Remember, that this goes beyond personal, like I said, self-control, because this is saying, okay, we at the point where we got enough energy, right? Beyond self-control, beyond what we need, right? And so, with that energy times this discipline, that's power. But it depends on how much energy you have. So, when that happens, and there was a plan in this, when you start having energy, extra energy, external energy, that you could turn into power, you became a threat. And so their idea was to keep you from gaining any discipline. See? Because you can have energy, but no discipline. But therefore, you wouldn't have any power. As long as you have any power, whoever has power has control over you to the degree of the power they have over you. So if their power is 10 times greater than yours, they got 10 times more control over you. So what happens is that now the devils do this to make sure you don't have any power. So you go after these things. You get diabetes, you might want a devil woman, you want all this stuff, American dream. But Farrakhan told you, you better go for it because you ain't getting no other dream. So they lock you in, it underscores this, so you push for it. The cross, all that stuff you're going for. What else you gonna go for? That's the only reality you got, only option you got. So therefore, that leaves you powerless. Because you have a good American dream, it leaves you powerless. Now you can easily getting rid of. See, they get you powerless. Because you have more energy now, but that's the plan. Because they got you going after the American dream. And you're going after it. Right? So that means you have no power, and you sit around still stupid and dumb, but they come and get rid of your ass. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. Trying to get you to understand how discipline works. Now, when you see deviant behavior, homosexuality, all that stuff is a symptom of lack of right? Lack of discipline. Can't control themselves. But was the attraction this world life got them is greater than their ability to resist it. So, cars, fancy cars got them. Boats, money, houses. They're going after this American dream. But view's a nightmare. Because that causes you to lose your discipline. You have no power. And so we are disunited because remember, it takes power to everything. So we are disunited. We have a knowledge, all these different things. Right? Because we went after the American dream. We was tricked into going after the American dream. There are no other options. Observation, no other options. You understand that, brothers and sisters? Hope you understand that. Now, let me explain a little further. So, million years into the future, right? And let's go back here. But you don't have these attractions anymore. You're long gone. So attraction of time, maybe luscious food, right? Women off the charts. And like the food is so good, I guess the reason I can't stop eating all these different things, right? But those would be the attraction at those times. Because remember, as we build our physical selves, we build also the environment. This environment has an attraction. Because everything attracts everything else. I don't know if you understand that or not. It's like everything has kind of form of magnetism. Everything. So the thing is that, say for instance, the food is, man, like off the page. But at that point, the magnetic attraction of that food is greater than your ability to maintain discipline. And so you start losing discipline. Where before, maybe many years in the future, the attractions, remember, because you always have those outside attractions. See? Yeah, children go up, right? Spend time, whatever. You're going to have that. In other words, you are the universe, that's the external universe, and they attract each other. You can take that energy and do something with it, right? Or you can be attracted by the energy. What I'm getting at is that as we move into the future, the external side becomes brighter and better, right? Talking for the original people, the woman becomes, if you're talking about males, right, the woman becomes so, and after a while, you can't maintain discipline anymore because you want to go after that, and to go after that, you're going to lose discipline. Now do you understand what I was saying about that, brothers and sisters? So at some point in time, you can't go any further because the attraction is just too great. Oh, man, I can't stop eating them grapes. I can't stop eating this. I can't stop spending time with these. I can't, right? Because the attraction at some point too, and so therefore you lose discipline, and then you die. And we see right now the devil's losing discipline because what you see, the Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Concept, I guess you'll call it, right? They lost, which they homosexuality, transgender. That's a lack of discipline. They have no discipline. So they fell victim to all their body urges, all their body wants, anything. So they're doing these things. I mean, the body's in control, not the mind, not the brain. Sexual, homosexual things, perversion, all kinds of stuff, transgender, you name it. Because your discipline is gone. That's a sign. That, if you pay attention, that's a sign right there of destruction. Because they said, the sign of Sodom and Gomorrah, all that stuff, they would have been signed in Christ, they'd be signed for the nation. But you understand what the hell about? It's about what you see in there is a breakdown in discipline because America is using all this energy to try to control the world. And so it's getting harder and harder to do it. So if they keep holding on, that means the energy, internal energy is going to start fading. Oh, yes, dear brothers and sisters. That's pretty much what I say about discipline. I can understand it. Right? So male and female have to show discipline. Discipline is self-control. Right? You try to control others, you lose control of yourself. That's what's going on here. If you attract all this stuff, the American dream, what happens? You go after it, and then you have lost discipline. What does that mean? You're losing discipline. It means you're losing power. You're losing power. It makes it easy for God to come and just wipe you out. Though it's not going to be that way. But you're losing power because discipline and the power was constrained within yourself anyway because internally, like I said, it's energy times discipline. So when it's discipline, right? But I put it another way. The thing is, they're teaching our people, go after the American dream. You can have what you want. Do your thing. What they're doing is they make their world more attractive because they know the less discipline you have, the less power you have. If they can maintain their power lower than theirs or at zero, they have control of you. That's all about. So they make it more attractive. I mean, every commercial now, you got a black male in it. Every commercial. In the movies, you see it. Trying to make it more attractive to you. And so when you go after it, you lose discipline. You go lose discipline, it means you lose control, you lose power. It means they can control you. Don't say power is greater than yours. Their power is failing because you see, look at them. You can see, look at it. They've turned into Sodom and Gomorrah. They are Sodom and Gomorrah. They're losing discipline because they're trying to hold on to something they can't hold on to. They try to hold on to the world, hold on to their power, and slip it right through their fingers. Right? So at some point they're going to realize they're dying. And so a lot of people, right, maybe they have something to do with it, maybe they don't. Mostly they have no discipline whatsoever. And it's one way I don't have any power. No discipline. If they have any discipline, they don't keep it very long. But I'm trying to get a short on how this works. So now you have more energy than you need to maintain yourselves. Right? See? So now, right? Because using all you get your discipline to the max. Right? Very good control of yourself. 1 meal a day, 1 meal 2 days, 1 meal 3 days, salads. Because remember, the angel is the gym for the brain, but the 5 pills are the gym for discipline. Because there's 5, you have 5 natures. I mean, you have 1 nature, but it's 5 aspects to it. And the 5 pills, right? Takes an aimless word, address each one of them. to develop them. That's what you need to develop that 5 characteristics of yourself. See, and the more you do it, the more discipline you have. See. So the point is have maximum discipline over yourself first, right? Because it takes energy to do that. See, we didn't have energy for that during the Holocaust. Right? So all we have is just our natural energy. Like, if you have eyes, you have these things, they wouldn't. So we have our natural discipline. We didn't have 5 pillars. You got muscle, natural muscle, but you got to develop them. So natural discipline, that discipline was tested to the extreme. The maximum universe could do. The extreme. Right? And those that survived it, right? This nation would come to life with the maximum discipline, natural discipline. Then the 5 pillars. See? Now you got that doing the tribulation. Start to develop them. Develop that discipline. See? So now you have enough energy to maintain yourself, but you don't have a discipline. Partly because you're out there drugs and all this stuff. And not because you can't overcome it, because you're told there's nothing else. That's the genius of what Farrakhan's doing, because he didn't have to tell you that, but that's what he's telling you. You understand, brothers and sisters? So you out there. So you have to not, but you need development, because you out there using that energy instead of developing your discipline. See, because Elijah tried to get you to develop your discipline, but your church is not telling you the best. You can do whatever you want, just call on Jesus. No one's telling you to develop your discipline. You're looking at movies and everything, do your own thing, happy party, doing everything. Because they don't want you to. Because if you do, it's like, every time they open the door in sports, right? And then you get into it. Why? Because reason why and these are even why most of them are demons. Why demons excel in sport? You have some saints too. Because they have original in them. That gives them an edge on discipline. Edge on physical power. Okay? That's why we're stronger, healthier than them naturally. That natural discipline is kicking in. But they want to undermine that. If this been here, right? Discipline what? By working 5 pillars. So you got the natural muscle, and you got the muscle that you get from working out. Natural brain, and the brain you get from studying. See? So when you're born, right, you don't have any power because, no external power. Because all your energy, the energy you're getting, using that energy to grow and get control of yourself as much as possible. You understand, brother and sister? So the thing is that they don't want you to ever gain power, so they give you, you look around. They really, every commercial now is almost mixed race. And now they make all these stupid movies where the chief of police and the president, everybody was black. The stupid movie got 50 cents in there. He's a police department. And we know that's all bullshit. Okay, you see some of that around here. It's rare, but you don't think it's rare because they show it on TV. Think about this, for instance. You can have a whole bunch of people out on, see, in some square somewhere, right? A lot of people gather around. And then you get about 4 or 5 people get in a fight. So now you got a little circle right here of people fighting. So the cameraman comes in there and he's watching, he's got the camera on that spot. When he broadcasts this, there's a riot. There's a riot in the center. Ain't no riot. Because he is showing you that part right there. And you say, oh man, he ain't showing you the whole thing. And they do it all the time. Like I said, the same thing. If you took, and now, my father said America's shit from start to finish. But the so-called Appalachia, right? That's like the redneck backwards part of America, right? Okay. So somebody, a reporter, they goes and just spends time in Appalachia. Say, but that's tell everybody that's America. That's what America's like. See what I'm saying? Because that's what they show you. I'll go here. They won't show the cities, the architecture. They won't show all that. The university won't show you that. Same thing to do with Africa. Timbuktu was the greatest university on the planet at the time. Right? They had kings and queens in Africa. They had great cities, not small, great cities. And they had one king that was a Muslim, and he had so much gold. Right? He had tons of more gold than they imagined, because he took and he had a whole caravan, and nobody messed with him, right? Because he was so powerful. He had a caravan on this trek to Mecca, on his pilgrimage to Mecca, to give it to as a gift. I mean, I understand. You can Google it. There was tons of gold. See? So they don't show you that. They show the ones in the jungle. And they make that's what Africa, that was not Africa. That was just the people in the jungle. That was just the people in the jungle. Let me say it again. That was just the people in the jungle. Because when you watch that movie, Amistad or whatever it was, right? Right? If you watch that movie, you saw all the sisters, they was all covered, it was all Muslim. They was all covered with hair and everything. See? And by the time they got to the New World, they was all raped and naked and everything else. So they weren't in the jungle like that. But they were sure the jungle, and they said that was us. They wish I was educated. See? Egypt. Who you think was running Egypt? Black folks was running Egypt and Sudan. Do you know they have pyramids into Sudan? The reason why they don't show you, Google it. The reason they don't show you pyramids in Sudan, because then you say, well, those blacks have pyramids, because they want you to think white folks had the pyramids. When I was growing up, all the Egyptians always characterized as white, because they want you to think that we was so backwards, and the Egyptians had to be white people, because they built pyramids, they built all this stuff, and white people. What's his name? Burton, built something Burton or whatever, and what's her name? Right. And they played Mark Anthony and what's her name? Cleopatra. It's all black folks. Hannibal's black folks came out of Carthage. That was, I think they call it Algeria now. See? These are educated people. And Hannibal, right? This guy, Roman Empire, was so powerful, but he was able to defeat them constantly in every battle with just a few people. They couldn't touch Hannibal. They tried to make it he was white, but then the fact is they finally admitted he was a black man. Probably Muhammad was black, but there's another story together, but I'll say this again. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna take a few minutes to say this. Prophet Muhammad changed the world. He changed the world at that time. Right? He went into battle, he had battles and everything, but he changed the world. He took control of Arabia. Right? Revived Islam. He didn't create Islam. He revived what Abraham had left behind. Mecca and some Kaaba, all that stuff was there. Right? So this man did all this, and they had the greatest, at that time, the greatest architects in right, in Arabia, greatest magicians, right, the greatest intellectuals, mathematicians, artists, you name it, right? But understand, trigonometry, everything else was like that. We had trigonometry long before that, but it was reborn, I guess, by Arabs. Now you're going to tell me that not one artist drew a picture of this man? Not one sculptor did a sculpture of him? Not one intellectual or whatever wrote a description of the man? You're going to try to feed me that bullshit? No, you feed somebody else. Because you know it's a goddamn lie. The reason why they conceal what he looks like, because they don't want you to know the man was black. And they got to explain how they got white. Because he was white, his picture be all over the place. See? But they don't give it to you because they know. They got pictures of him. They got it hidden. Yeah, pictures of them. They got it hidden. They know. So-called scholars and stuff know. Okay, so I'm gonna close out in a minute. I got it here. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? So, like I say, going into the future. See, this on this level, the attraction. In other words, you got the natural attraction, like the gravitational vortex. This world, the gravitational vortex in this world will be greater than this. The attraction will be greater. The food will be greater. Women be greater. The men be greater. Everything be greater. The attraction be greater. Okay? The food be so. Oh man, I can't stop eating that food so good. You can't eat one meal a day. I can't eat one meal 2 days. See? So at some point, the outside attraction will be greater than your ability to maintain discipline. And so that's it. That's the end of your line. So one person will go all the way. I'm trying to get you to understand what discipline is. So some people can't get past this. And these are my attractions, but to them, that's great. That's it. To those who love this world's life, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They have no portion hereafter. If they love this world life, they be attracted to it. When you love something, you're attracted to it. Those attracted, there's no portion hereafter because they don't have the discipline to make it because they use all their energy to go after this world life. And so they have no energy for discipline, self-control. And when you go out and look at, like I said, all the deviation that you see in the Western world right now, because they're losing, they don't have a natural discipline, they have very little. And so we have to tell them, we have to force them to go to the gym, right? See? To build up, it's like, it's like man has natural strength and women, she don't have as much. Right? But say like we're the men and they're the women, right? And they want them to rule, but they don't have enough discipline, strength to do it. So I tell them, hey man, you gotta go to the gym. You gotta go to the gym every day. Come on, you gotta go to the gym. See? To have more strength than the men. And while I tell the men, you don't go to the gym at all, keep you weak. And she otherwise you get tired. Man, I can't go to the gym. I'm tired of doing that. See? So that's why you have to keep telling them. They won't do it naturally. That's why I keep sending messenger prophets to them. Say, no, you gotta get that focus on discipline. See? But they focus on all this other stuff, so they're losing discipline. So now they can't distinguish. That's why you see it's confusion. They can't. It's also all this stuff, all this deviant activity, what they call reprobate. That means you lose control of yourself. When you reprobate, it means you lose discipline, and when you lose discipline, you start losing power. And so, the world now, as energy increases, the world become more attractive. And are you able to withstand that attraction? See? Because those that can't withstand this attraction, as Quran tells you, you're not going to the hereafter. There's no portion for you in the hereafter. Because you won't make it. You won't even make it to tribulation. Because but then some people just being tricked. Because by you telling them they don't have nothing else, they say, well, I might as well go after this here. What's the point of me being disciplined? Ain't nothing else, ain't place else to go. Why am I saving myself? I ain't never gonna find a man that's a good, wholesome man. So I might as well just party, hang out, and do everybody. But hey man, there's Prince Charming down the line. I want to save myself Prince Charming. I want to be Princess Charming. I know Princess Ho Ho Ho, because he ain't gonna want me. If I know it's Princess down the line, but I know he ain't down the line, I might as well be Princess Ho Ho Ho. Have a good time. If you understand what I'm trying to say, brothers and sisters, that's why what he's doing is so evil. But I tell you, you don't have an alternative. You're going nowhere. So therefore, you start doing this. And therefore, you start losing discipline. Right? That's how he took all the discipline that they had, Elijah gave them. See? And the Scientology, all this crap, and that's what had no power there. That's why it says it makes it a laughing stock, because Islam has no power. None. If you was around, Elijah was around, anybody was around when Elijah was around, they could see a difference. Because Elijah Muhammad, Islam had power and was respected. Even by the devils was respected. Nobody respected now. Has no power. Because no discipline. Because Pharaoh gonna tell me no go after this stuff. Because we ain't going nowhere. Devils and more. So he got devils in NOI. He got devils in NOI wearing uniforms. He got that one. Who you think? Mr. Mexican, what is it now, Abdul or whatever? He just tip of the iceberg. But he's got devils in it. He said himself he can bring them. He said, yeah, we can bring them in. He got devils in there. He got devils marrying other believers, so-called believers in there. That's what made it laughing stock, because nobody's laughs at somebody got power unless you're crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So understand what discipline is. So you go after this here. Remember, it takes energy. Discipline takes energy. It takes energy to have discipline. So you're going to use all your energy, right? Self, okay. Well, let's take it. If you make one meal a day, 1 meal or 2 days, that takes discipline to do that. Take discipline to make slot for an hour a day. If you're doing it or whatever. Remember, you like Master Muhammad, 6 to 8 hours a night. That took a lot of discipline. I tried like something that killed me. I couldn't do it 2 or 3 hours. We should walk around, no sleep. Super discipline. I don't speak English, so I speak, right? Action, right? So Master Muhammad is an example of what we're supposed to be doing. Just watch it. The man has super discipline. Super discipline. And plus, that's because the way he constructed, he had a lot of energy, so he had super power. And that power was manifested in the will and stuff, because he's a technician. And now, who knows how much power he has now? And Shia got more discipline than the Sunnis, though. You watch what stuff they be doing. Right? But if they get you a track like this here, the whole idea is to get you attract this world of life, the American dream. So therefore, that's a way to rip you of your discipline and just remove your destroy your power. And as long as they can keep your power less than theirs, they can rule you. And if they see it, you might gain power. I mean, they get rid of you. They're never going to let you have power with them. You think they're going to let you have power with them? They ain't going to never let that happen. That's why they're going to try to kill you once they see that you gain it. You start coming together. Because Suleiman's going to be telling them it's time to come together. Because we preaching, that's when you start coming together. It says, preach to 4 winds. And then they start coming, the bones start rattling, start there, and they say, bam, and they see, and then false Israel is about coming, and they say, hey, these people about to have power. It says it right in there. And that was their greatest fear. That you'll come together, war will break out, and you'll fight against them and lead a country. You understand? National security alert, your national security threat. Like the brother said, we've always been a national security threat. We just now always been a national threat. That's what the scripture's telling you. It was a national threat, right? See, it was conscious that it was consciously a national security threat. Actually, when Elijah came along, but it was even before that, because when the Haitians and all of them, when they broke, they was afraid it might happen here. So that's why all the people started popping up. Because they'd make sure no, it couldn't happen here because they revolted over there, so we might do it here. So we've been a national security threat at some degree the whole time we've been here, right? Well, not the whole time, because after 54 years, we wouldn't threaten nobody, right? I'm just telling you, I'm just trying to get you to see that at some stage, most time was here, there was some degree of fear. of us. See? But they have a natural fear. It's like, you might not realize this, brothers and sisters, but when your original person, when they talk, especially original man, it sounds like a lion to them. It makes their heart tremble. You don't know that. That's why a lot of times these brothers be getting killed when the cops come out because they're talking. The guy gets scared because your voice. That's why they have to go to a special school. You better check this out. Don't take my word for it. The devils, they can't get they put the Negroes into to show what's happening. They go to special school to develop a command voice so they can sound like they. They say, you better go do it. You better go to the man. Hey man, you know you ain't supposed to be doing. You better be speeding instead of what you talking like that because you get killed. I told you in Vietnam, this officers was getting killed because their own people was killed called fragging. Because nobody gonna say up and talk, hey man, look, you better get down, man. You better go over here. I want you to go over here and fight over here. I want you to sit up over here. And here you been in the military for 17, 20 years, man. Here you the Hulk. Here come little Bugs Bunny telling you what to do, man. Hell with that. He's dead, Bunny. That's a fact. I'm not telling you, that's a fact. The white officers, junior officers over there in Vietnam back there, their life expectancy was. Come on, talking like that, man. Nobody, you gonna put your life in somebody's hand talking like that? A short story, like I told you. They sent me to Vietnam from Germany, and I wasn't supposed to go because I was in a place they ain't sent nobody. Vietnam, right? And I told you the whole story because I was militant, and that's when they got rid of me. But I was that time I was a corporal, basically. I was E4. I was always stood for myself. I guess I was. When I got to Vietnam, I think I got to Vietnam on my 20th birthday. I actually got there on my actual birthday. I think it was 19th or 20th. I think it was 20th birthday year because the next year, right? That's not. We look for Elijah. It was 19. I can't remember. It was 19 or 20. Anyway, but I went and told the captain. I said, I know y'all sent me to Vietnam, and I said, I said, I wasn't too much different back then than I am now. I know more. But spirit, I had the same spirit. I stood for myself, man. I ain't taking no crap from nobody. And that scared them. But then some of them was respected that too, because they said, man, this thing is stand for itself. And some, your enemy may not like you, but they respect you if they see you standing for yourself. And they respect me. I was nothing. I mean, I'll tell you, when I was like beanstalk when I was, I was real small. I got my FY uniform on head, but the mess was around me. I can't get that thing. I can't get away in that thing. Can't get it. I put it on one time, boy, it was pathetic. But the thing is that I went to him, I said, look, I'm not going to Vietnam unless I'm at least a sergeant. Because I'm not going to shovel shit and I'm going to have some little weak ass, I ain't say white boy, tell me what to do and put my life at risk. I'm gonna have some say so. That's what I told him. Right? And so when I took my birthday January 21st, right? And so it was like December. And so, but you had, you gave you 2 weeks leave and then you had to go to Washington State for some Vietnam training and then you're on there. So like I said, I arrived on my birthday. So it was like a month or two when I left Vietnam, a month or two before I left Germany. So I was on vacation for 2 weeks, whatever. And well, Christmas Eve, my stripes came in the mail. Because even then I knew, man, I wasn't. And so get back to my point. So, right. They're afraid. They're naturally afraid of us. They're naturally afraid. And that fear comes up like somebody sometimes kill you, because they get nervous. Their heart trembles. Especially you got real strong command voice. Right? The way you talk, some of us talk. Some of us talk, man. Even the sisters talk stronger than they do. Yeah, they talk. And you're going to let somebody, it's hard to be controlled or ruled by somebody that talks like that. Right? So they have some special school command voice. Okay, I'm not going to be 2 hours today. But you understand, brothers and sisters? So the thing is that they're weaker. They don't have as much discipline. That's part of showing their voice. They're stripped down version. They're weak. Like the lessons say. See? And so they have weaker bodies and they have very little. So you have to send somebody, keep telling them. That's what the prophets and everything come to them to. It's like basic, they're like personal training. Man, you got to get back in the gym and start exercising that discipline, because that's what the rule law is. You got to be that law. You can't do it. It's discipline. That's what it is. So the prophets come in trying to get them to discipline themselves, because they keep falling. Like Elijah Muhammad said, we lost 2,000 years in Europe because they lost discipline. He didn't say discipline, but he says, right? They lost 1,000 years during the Dark Ages because they went to Catholicism and told them they had to have no discipline, just believe in Jesus. So they plummeted. And then when they start picking up and start trying to obey scripture and stuff, right? And that was Britain, Magog. Then they start gaining their power back. See? It's just that simple, brothers and sisters. See? But at that point, we got maximum discipline, but no energy. So if you got just enough energy to maintain ourselves, we had maximum self-control. We had much more self-control than they did. No energy. All the energy was just to control ourselves. See? And then and at some point we didn't have enough for that either. Energy deprivation got so bad. So we went to the Holocaust, right? And the only thing is, and that gets to more mass and everything, like I said, because they denied us energy, they control our energy. I said they have energy, control energy we get. And so we couldn't get any energy on the only energy that comes to us that we control. We control too much of that. It's our seed. And we control much of that because they was raping our women. They was torn. So we barely made it through. Okay? Because if you get so much energy every day. And so if you're in control, someone else is controlling it. It's got to be controlled by somehow. So if you're not controlling, someone else control it. So you get so much, right? And so your body, and then your body gonna take, and you're using that energy you have no energy for nothing else. So your body makes the best seed it can. Makes the best seed it can. Nothing else. So we produce the best seed possible, while they was producing worse and worse seed possible, because everything was still and stolen from everybody else. We talked about that. So I hope I'm going on. I'm trying to make sure that you understand this point here. See, so back then you got the American dream, drugs, and all this kind of stuff, right? You're going after that stuff. So you see how people lose control, diabetes, overweight, and everything else. Lose self-control. That's where the devil wants you. So you have no power. Lose no power. So he gets main control over you. And that's the problem. Because it's mercy coming from here, because you think you don't have any option. So he said, well, I might get the best of this world. And then after that bullshit he said Sunday, well, you shouldn't be afraid of death, because when you die, God turns you into fertilizer, and you fertilize the next generation. Well, if that's the case, man, I might as well party right hardy now, man. So that's like I look forward to being fertilizer. I mean, come on. Oh, let me get off that one, folks. Every time that gets me rolling, brothers and sisters. I give anybody say something dumb. The boy's dumb, but did he know what he said? And what does fear got to do with it? I don't fear death because you're going to be turned to fertilizer. Oh, man. See? So the point is, man, man. So I did the same thing. I went this world's life. Because I knew life was going. I didn't know had no time frame. I had the angel. I knew he was going to be going. I didn't really think it through what I would do afterwards if he left. And I didn't think it through. It was just going to happen right immediately. We're going to change immediately. We're going to go home, whatever. So I'm kind of like in flux too. So when I went to American Dream, I was doing good at it, man. I was right, rolling in dough. Had a mini mansion, 5 bathrooms. It was 3 stories and new car all the time, and right, going to watch this stuff. I was having the best of everything. I was having the best of everything. Right? And I was still, the thing is, see, I don't know. See, the problem was at that time, I was still holding on to my discipline. In fact, I was eating 1 meal 3 days during that time. All that kind. So how could you do both? Because remember I said, you can hold on to something. Let me put it this way. I said, you want $1 million, but you're supposed to have $1 million. You take $1 million, but now you got $1 million with bad luck. And that bad luck could be a person that's killing you all kinds of misery, but you tolerate that bad person because that allows you that $1 million. That makes sense? So you got $1 million in your hand, but you got $1 million worth of trouble. So balance it out. Right? That's the consequence. So that time I was married to a demon wife. She was hell. That woman drove me crazy. I was so miserable with her. In fact, she helped me. She taught me one thing. I was making like slots like half an hour a day. So I learned more about slots because I says, I make more and more and more. Let me make more. So I said, oh, that's where you do it. You keep making slots until you get to the point where you don't feel the aggravation anymore. I didn't feel it, but I wouldn't feel it personally, but I was suffering it. Every time this happens, this would happen, all problems all the damn time, complain all the time, right? See, every time I build something, she tear it down. And the most unhappy person I ever met in my life. I don't think the woman ever smiled in her life. No matter what you did, it wasn't enough. See? And then when she was gone, I wouldn't leave because, like I said, we had kids. I wouldn't walk away. I stayed with it. So, like I said, I had all the other stuff. I had that misery. Sleep with that misery every night, every day, living with it was painful. See? And then when she finally ran herself off, I was glad. I didn't run away, you did. Never let her back in. She tried to get back in, no more. Okay. So that was the price I paid. I had all those things, but I was suffering with no joy in it. But I had children, and I was going to American Dream. I was doing it, I had a lot of problem with my family because they never seen anybody do this well as I did, and they was jealous and everything else, and they called me names and stuff. They were jealous because they never seen anybody do as well as I was doing in my entire family. Living in a great neighborhood, had a large piece of property, right? Had a separate house. There was a garage or something. Right? It was something else, right? And then it was going overnight. It's like I said in Jonah, right? When I got the angel and everything, let's all start together on the timing. But you understand, brothers and sisters? So, I went after the American Dream too, because I didn't think it was, I knew about Abraham and covenant. What's that going to be? That could be in my lifetime. And nobody was really focused on Abraham and covenant back then. A lot of them mentioned it, but it wasn't in everybody's, on their in the front, on their, maybe way back in the brain somewhere. Because after Elijah Muhammad left, that kind of like disappeared, Abraham and covenant, because, people thought Elijah Muhammad was going to take us home. So I'm after the American Dream. Once I got the angel, I had the American Dream no more. Right? So, mention the covenant. Right? So then all of a sudden, all that misery was on. Now I got a wife that I care for. She cares for me, and she don't give me any headaches, and I don't give her any either. Right? We got comfortable. Right? I had no manage all that stuff. becomes we live okay. It's anybody for anything, right? Because we live and spend out of what we have given you. That's what it said in the Quran. Anyway, I hope you understand, brothers and sisters. See, the discipline's up to you. And it's always going to be about discipline. So we're getting the hereafter same thing. That we said world around you is going to become more and more attractive. More than this. Won't be no devil over there. Be sisters that man that, ooh. Ain't no sister in this world today. It's going to be as beautiful as those sisters you see. Like angels, right, with wings. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Hey man, you got to get out of that bed sometime. You may not be able to. The food is, this processed food and everything else, food is so delicious, man. I can't stop eating. I can't eat one meal a day, man. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, you can't go any further. Because the outside words will be more and more attractive, more and more attractive, more and more attractive as we go further and further in the future. And more and more people are going to drop off because they have discipline to keep on going. Because some can't get through this one. Some of our own people can't, the demons can't get through this, but some of our people can't get through this part. Partly, most because lack of knowledge. Because these fools like, now you forget about Farrakhan, being next all that kind of stuff, distracting people. And by the time they get it, it's too late anyway, because they messed up. The Quran said when you ruin your soul, they messed up there and got, like Farrakhan, he can't recover from disembowelment. You got, when I went blind, you got amputate, because of diabetes and all that kind of stuff. You can't recover from that. Because it went too far. See? And because of lack of knowledge, because people like Ben X and them talking that bull, when the people that got this knowledge, they wouldn't have made that mistake. That's why I want you to understand this. I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. I hope I'll give you a better picture of what this is all about. Go back and let me show it and let me close out. You ain't going after that stuff. You're holding on. You got to discipline yourself. See, because everything, all that is inside. Then you do this, all of a sudden, boy, you grab that, you know. It gets so bad that all the arrows are all out. You have no discipline whatsoever. So you have no discipline over you can't stop eating, you can't stop your sexual desire, you can't handle it. Now you're sleeping with everything, dogs, people, women, everything, you know. You have no control. Eating everything, you can't stop eating anything, right? Okay? You're out the street all naked and everything else. Listen to everything about it telling you. See? Because you don't have control, so they control you. You follow every fad that comes along. I never followed any fad ever. I said, why don't you set this? Somebody said that stuff. Why don't you set this down? Set your own fad. See, so you had no control. And people see how people out there had no control. Out there, the sisters, man, they got wigs on and hair blonde on and all this stuff. Like the sister was saying, man, they got all this makeup. Women, black women, what you need makeup for? Look what they call it. What you making up? See, makeup came from with devils. They was making up for them being devils, being pale and ugly. That's what makeup. That's why they call it makeup. They had to put something on to make up for it. You don't need that. You got it natural. They didn't get lipstick to get some lips because you got lips. They didn't have none. They had to paint lips on, and now they got you doing that dumbass shit. You being like they being like you, and then you being like them. That's being like you. That dumb is that, right? They put bustle on because they had no ass. Go look at the bustle. Then you put bustle on back when you was in the fields. They was laughing at you, and they put bustle on because they had no ass. They still doing that. Some of you putting patents back there now. Yeah, you understand, brothers and sisters? And you was talking about how you was naked in Africa. Remember I told you? That wasn't us. That was the people in the jungles. The majority of black folks weren't living in the jungles. Oh, see how naked they are. I be walking around all day. I said, man, these folks are just, they're naked. They walk around with this in the street with their panties on. oh, they said, or they got some pants on top. I did something one day. That's just an experiment at the gym, right? They had a pool. It was a pool. I think it was a whirlpool. Anyway, it was one or two. So what I did is I went and I bought me a pair of jockey shorts, right? Not I guess that's what you call them, right? Not the briefs, right? Not the long ones, right? And I had my shorts on, right? And I got this pair. This was I had the white pair on, right? I go and bought me another pair. I think it was black or something like that. And I put over top of that. Right? And I went to the pool, man. Hey, what you doing here? Your pants, they went off. They wanted to call a match and everything else. And what difference did that to put on a bathing suit? What was it different? It's just because design. It was design that they focus on. I had a pair on top of this here, a bathing suit would have been just the same thing, probably less material. But they went off. They was going to call a manager and everything else. See? And what design could make a difference? I just did experience what would happen. And so he says out here, they're actually wearing out there with their panties. The material they're wearing is the same panty material. So, I got, okay. And then they got so close, you see, you might as well not have any clothes on at all. And then you guys, I saw a woman, I was telling my wife, all she had was just a string up, just a string like this, up behind, a string. So the whole ass was sticking out. And see, that's them, because that's what they are. But they would say, see, y'all was savages, y'all was naked. Now who's naked now? But see, when they do it, it's a virtue. We do it with savages. Like all the stuff doing in the world right now. They make, like the brother was saying, all these lawyers, they don't obey those laws. They're laws for everybody else. They don't obey them. And they go and tell them, hey man, let me close out. Bones asked them to close out. Russia's been interfering with American election. I like to fill out. Russia's interfering with America. And you've been interfering with everybody's election all over the world. And everybody knows it. You wouldn't got rid of Iran. They had a democracy and you got rid of that. They had a democracy in Ukraine, you got rid of that. You killed off Lubumba, you killed off the people in Haiti, you do it all over the world. And they're talking, we can't tolerate anybody messing with our election, our democratic elections. And you get everybody's business all over the world. Your day's over. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. That's the one thing, brothers and sisters, I'm not a person who will live forever and that kind of stuff. I mean, this is enough for me. More than enough, actually. I never thought I would live more than 50 years old. Everybody, my parents died when they was real. My father didn't make, he just barely made 40. Mother, she was still early 20s, so I didn't know if it was a genetic thing or not. But I never went long life, none of that kind of stuff, right? But the one thing that motivates me, man, is getting rid of these damn devils. And they're demons. Because it's unbelievable. I mean, you have to be here to see this. Because if you was in hereafter, and you was telling you in hereafter, you wouldn't believe this. God, come on, man. You couldn't believe it. How these people just lie their ass off all the time. How wicked they are. You wouldn't believe it. And that's one of the reasons why, and I am closing, I said, I didn't never say this before, but I said it yesterday, right? Part of the reason why tribulation, because a strange things be done here. And I know you don't understand when the Quran says, Allah is who comprehends all vision, but vision comprehends them not. And you understand we as a body. So all our eyes is eyes of Allah. Because we're one body. We're one mind. Right? So one person can't see it all, but all of us together is that one body. So we see everything that's happening. That's how Allah sees everything. Because we see everything with all our eyes see some piece of it. So all together we see the whole thing. Right? So the point is, part of the reason we're going to tribulation, because they can be a witness exactly what they're going to see. That's Allah is looking at what's happening. Put it like that. You're going to be Allah looking at what exactly is going on there. All this stuff, you're going to see it up close and personal. You have many stories to tell. See? Because it's going to be a strange thing. How you know a strange thing? You got to see it. So see it to believe unprecedented. I mean, somebody had to be to see it. That's one of the reasons. So we take advantage of everything. Okay, let me go, brothers and sisters. Didn't mean to go this long. Let me go. The thing I said, brothers and sisters. So again, I hope you understand how discipline works. The 5 pillars that should work out. And just work out your mind, get your brain up to the level you need to go to the hereafter. We're going higher and higher and higher. We're going without limits. And this is what you need. Right? This is your gym for your discipline. And you gotta master this. And the angel, that's the qualification. Make it to the hereafter. And otherwise you come in all crippled, messed up, everlasting shame and appallment. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Okay? Angel, for the mind, by brain, and this for discipline. Okay? Discipline times energy equals power. But what good is power? Lamborghini, you got all that power. You have a steering wheel. The angel comes in. Okay, brothers and sisters. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. I didn't do this right. Close out, but let me see how far I have to go here. I'll fix this so I wouldn't have to go through this anymore. Yeah. I blew that one. Just give me a minute, bro. Just a second. See if this, oh no. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay. Hope you understand, bro. So I'm going to leave it there. Future news out.